I never pictured myself as the kind of man who would sit in silence on the edge of his own bed, staring at the cold, untouched half where his wife once belonged. My name is Jason. I'm 40 and I run a mid-sized construction company in Denver. For a decade, I lived by the belief that loyalty and commitment were unshakable foundations of marriage. I thought Rebecca shared that belief. For 10 years, I gave her my love, my energy, my everything. I didn't realize how wrong I was until the smallest cracks began to spread like fractures through glass. It started subtly, missed calls she dismissed as work, late nights that became routine, touches that grew colder, shorter, like she was withdrawing piece by piece. At first, I told myself it was stress, the pressure of life weighing on her shoulders. But in my gut, I knew something else was at play. I ignored the whispers inside me, because I wanted so desperately to believe that our bond was strong enough. Love, I thought, could close any gap. That illusion shattered one Thursday evening. I came home early, a rare surprise, hoping to spend time with her. The moment I walked through the door, I heard laughter. Not mine, not ours, but his. My chest tightened as I followed the sound down the hallway. I reached the bedroom and stopped. The sight in front of me made my blood run ice cold. Rebecca was with another man, tangled in a moment so intimate that it erased every excuse she had ever given. I didn't explode. I didn't storm the room or demand answers. Instead, I froze and let the betrayal carve itself deep into me. Shock numbed me, but underneath it, clarity began to surface. This wasn't just a lapse or mistake. It was a deliberate choice, deception, manipulation, the dismantling of trust brick by brick. Right then, I made a decision. I wouldn't crumble. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction of watching me unravel. I would remain silent, observant, and deliberate. In the days that followed, I kept up appearances. I went to work, answered calls, even smiled when she cracked jokes. On the outside, I was calm. Inside, I was calculating. Every excuse she gave, every shift in her tone, every flimsy lie was mentally logged. I began building a case without her knowing. When she slipped a careless word to a friend about secret meetings, I seized it. Screenshots, timestamps, messages, everything lined up. Proof transformed my anger into purpose. This wasn't about catching her in the act anymore. It was about making sure she understood the consequences. Rebecca thought I was broken. She thought her betrayal left me humiliated, silenced. But what she didn't realize was that I had turned her arrogance into fuel. Her overconfidence blinded her. Every casual lie, every smug look she threw my way was a note in the playbook I was writing. The turning point came when she mentioned a weekend trip she had planned with him. She spoke with such certainty, as if I would never suspect. I smiled, let her think she had fooled me, and the very next evening, I hired a private investigator. Within 2 days, I held a binder full of evidence, photographs, schedules, text transcripts. Proof so detailed that even she couldn't deny it. But still, I didn't confront her. Timing mattered. Impact mattered. She needed to feel the weight of what she had done in a way that stripped her of control. Days later, I invited her out to dinner. She came dressed to impress, flashing a smile that screamed confidence. She believed she had me wrapped around her finger. I played along, listening, nodding, pretending ignorance. Every false word she spoke only made her unravel more in my eyes. When we returned home, I set the binder on the table and slid it toward her. At first, she smirked as if expecting some love letter or apology. But the moment her eyes landed on the photographs, the smirk died. Page by page, her composure crumbled. The color drained from her face. She stammered questions. How, when, why? But my silence spoke louder than any outburst could. I told her calmly, "This is everything. Every lie, every betrayal. Do you see it now?" She shook, her voice breaking, her confidence gone. I didn't yell, didn't beg. I simply watched her unravel into the very weakness she had once projected onto me. For the first time, she realized she couldn't manipulate me, couldn't charm her way out. The power was gone. The days after were filled with cold silence, paperwork, and strategy. I filed for divorce the next week. Unlike her reckless decisions, my actions were calculated. Every document was in order, every step measured. The evidence I had collected left her no room to maneuver. She tried to twist the narrative, whisper to friends, even appeal to the court with crocodile tears. But her efforts collapsed against the weight of proof. In the courtroom, I stayed composed. No arguments, no theatrics, just facts. When the final settlement was signed, I walked away with everything that mattered. My home, my financial security, my dignity. Rebecca left in disbelief, still trying to process how her lies had cost her everything she thought she controlled. As I stepped out of that courthouse, I felt lighter, as though a heavy shadow had finally lifted. Betrayal had scarred me, yes, but it had also shaped me. It had forced me to grow sharper, more aware, unshakably resilient. That night, alone in my apartment, I didn't celebrate her downfall. Instead, I embraced the quiet relief of balance restored. Her betrayal had tested me to my core, but it had taught me something invaluable. Patience and strategy will always outlast arrogance and deceit. I hadn't just survived her lies. I had turned them into the very tools that secured my freedom. And in the end, Rebecca learned the hardest truth of all. I was never the broken man she thought I was. Would you like me to expand this further into a multi-chapter structure with beats like the discovery, the strategy, the evidence, the confrontation, the courtroom, the aftermath, or keep it as one long flowing narrative like this?